You know, some people age like a fine wine, and some people age like a can of special brew left on a hot windowsill. Whichever one you are, get ready to talk about those pesky little emotions of yours, because it's time for another episode of I've Had a Rosé, Let's Talk About Feelings. Please welcome your host, Sam Lake. It was me the whole time. Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of I've Had a Rosé, Let's Talk About Feelings, the show where me and a wonderful guest enjoy a beverage of their choice and talk about something they're passionate about and see if it connects to their feelings in any way. Before we get on to introducing this week's guest, let's take a moment to thank all of our wonderful patrons. If you would like to sign up to our Patreon and become an official Rosé slut, you can for as little as £3 a month and you get access to all kinds of bonus content. Doesn't that sound just absolutely lovely? I would do it if I could, but I make it and I'm not going to pay myself. The link to do that will be down below. But for now, let's welcome today's wonderful guest, Joe Tracini. Hello, Joe.
Hi, Sam.
Hi.
What's a rosé slut?
I'm so glad you asked. The number of guests that just sort of like, they raise an eyebrow when I say that and then just leave it at that. Rosé Sluts is sort of like the name for our Patreons who have signed up to like all of our bonus content. So all our supporters. So they get the title of Rosé Sluts. We should give them like a badge or something. But yes, it's like the arm.
Amazing. That's what yes. Did you come up with the name Rosé Slut?
I want to say that was you, Claire. I think Claire was the one who said, let's call them Rosé Sluts. And you know what? They are okay with it at best.
And the fact that it was a team effort makes it so much better. I love that. And I want you to name all of my things from now on.
It took 3 people to come up with 2 words. So when you put it that way, it's less impressive.
And I bet you all had a nice day.
Much.
And that's all that matters.
How are you, Joe? How are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right. I mean, it depends what day you catch me, Sam. But I've spent an awful lot of the past 3 years answering that question by saying not dead. And I'm genuinely, I'm feeling all right at the moment. I'm doing good. So yeah, that's my happy short answer.
Can I ask about the tiling in the background? Because we normally record in person, but you're one of our special remote guests. The tiling in the background, which room of where are you right now?
You're going to be so pleased to hear that. My mum is going to be thrilled that you asked, because I am specifically sat in this point in my mum's house because she said, don't do this in the room you normally do it in, because it's a mess. Do it in the kitchen where they won't think about it. So the fact that you have opened with what's going on with the tiling, it's just the best thing you could have said from my end. I hope that also answers all of your questions. It's as old as you'd imagine.
I sort of just in case it ever happened, I had 40 minutes of tile-based questions ready for any guest that it might come up with. So I'm thrilled. And a tip of the cap to your mother. There you go.
Absolutely, yeah, because I do know. Yeah, she definitely picked them. It was about 30 years ago, but they were a decision. So yeah.
Well, they've stood the test of time. They look very clean as well.
Yeah, again, there's a reason that I'm in this corner. Nobody comes here apart from bananas. That's it.
Well, good. If you need a potassium hit to get you through the rest of the episode, you know where to reach out to. Let's talk about your beverage of choice. Now, it is one of the Coke-based drinks. We've had people request Coke on this show before, but you've been very specific. Coke from a glass bottle.
Yeah. It's different. It's different.
It's quirky. It's nice. It's different. It's unusual. Why specifically in a glass bottle, Joe?
I don't know what it is, Sam. I don't know what it is, but there's something about putting that drink in a glass bottle with that little glass hole that and then I don't know. It's just better. It's just better. It's not better because now when you buy them, they are. I mean, I've got no frame of reference of a bigger bottle, but they used to be like up here. but the whole shrinkflation situation, this is
Oh,
now,
I see.
it's a pain, but
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, Sam. But cans, I'm not saying I won't drink cans. I'll drink cans. I'll drink
sure.
plastic. Whack it in this.
Yes. And
I
it's a
don't know
new
why.
sensation. Does it make
Yes.
you feel a bit like you're on holiday?
No. But that might just be
Okay.
because I never go on holiday.
Do you not? Do you not go on a cheeky little vacay anytime?
No, no, I know. I wish that I did more or was more. I mean, I've got a dog for a start,
Right.
and that's a lot. And I think that, yeah, I mean, I don't like change, Sam. Like just like
Fair
between
enough.
years, I'm not a big fan. So I go through stages of being like, yeah, okay, I can go on trips and stuff, but I have to be pushed. I have a nice time if I get there, but actually getting out the door is a nightmare.
It's just a
But
transition. Right.
yeah, that's exactly it. Transition, which is, you know, I mean, it's a third of the holiday, isn't it, really? The transitioning situation. And it's the worst
Technically
bit.
two-thirds, because you've got to come back as well.
There you go. That's the problem. And
Yeah.
that's the problem that I have with going on walks as well. Because I understand why it's a positive thing, but I've always got to walk back and I'm not doing two.
Fair enough. Fair enough. No, you found it. You found the scam there. Big walk. Yeah.
Just saying. Thanks, Seth. I appreciate
Just
you
saying.
understanding.
I mean, it's troubling that I do, but I do understand. Yes, yes, I do. Because I just think there's something a little what's the word? Like a little sort of decadent about having your Coke in a glass bottle.
Yeah,
Because I
especially
think it's just
nowadays.
so
Yeah,
hard to
yeah,
find.
yeah, yeah. Stuff don't come in glass anymore. Nah.
It
It's like,
really
yeah, it's
doesn't,
like
does it?
Kit Kats don't come in tinfoil. Like, I miss that. Do you remember tinfoil Kit Kats?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Kit Kats used
they
to
used
come
to
in
come.
tinfoil. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
And I remember I
Do
had
you
a
know
pack.
what?
Go on.
I was going to say, it completely fell out of my brain that Kit Kats used to come in a foil wrapper. And then
Yeah.
you would like try and not break it when you took off the Kit Kat and then just sort of like iron it out.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's what you did. I think it says a lot about you as a person because what I did was I ran my thumb down the centre of the tinfoil, back and forth like that. So
Okay.
yeah, it was quite the
Oh,
opposite
in the
of
roots of
your
the
really
fingers.
delicate way of dealing with it. Yeah. But yeah, sorry, I don't know why I'm talking about Kit Kats.
No, I understand because you can't get stuff in a glass bottle as easy anymore. I imagine you have to order those in special or you've got a go-to shop where you know they come in the glass bottle.
Yeah, I mean, I get lucky. My Tesco Express has them. They have them in. So you know, I know I'm lucky in that sense because they are a nightmare to get
Oh.
hold of. But yeah,
Yes. Does it make it feel a bit more special because you're drinking from a more exclusive container?
yeah, I've got cans. I've got loads of cans. I've got plastic bottles.
Yeah.
I've got more
Yes.
cans than anything else in the fridge. I've only got two of these, and that's because I'm running out. I'm making it sound like that there's just an amount that I have, and then once they're gone, they're gone. I've only got two because I've not gone out lately. But yeah, I
Sure.
do feel very special when I have a glass bottle of Coke. I save them for the best meals.
Oh, lovely. Does that mean that you're going to have a meal? Is this podcast equivalent to dinner?
Listen, I'll be honest with you, right? At this point, I'm not sure what I'm going to do because I'm trying to lose a bit of weight. So I've been knocking sugar out of my diet.
Right.
In saying that, today is a cheat day because I'm about to have fish and chips. I'm not going to do that while we're here because we're busy. But
Yeah.
so I've not had a Coke in about a week and a half, which is the longest I've not done anything apart from drugs, which is longer. But this, don't know why. Again, Kit Kat. Sorry, I didn't need to bring that up. But so the problem is I don't know what to do because I understand your format and I understand that we're going to drink a Coke, but then also I don't really want to have fish and chips with Ribena. So
No, don't
we're here.
ruin yourself, Joe. Don't do it.
I'm not. I don't want to be anything other than honest with you. So have you got one as well?
I mean, I guess if we're going to be completely transparent, no, I don't. I have Diet Coke from a can in a mug.
Right. Okay. Again, see, this is why I love honesty, right? Because now I'm going to pretend to drink this.
Please, please, and really like give it some as well. Oh, glug, glug, glug. Someone's a thirsty.
No, I'm a rosé bitch.
Oh wow, just put the whole cap in as well.
Well, that's it. But if I do that, it's not selling it because you're like, so I either look like I'm not drinking it, or yeah, you know what that looks like.
No, never seen it before. Never Googled it. Don't know what you're talking about.
Every now and then I'll just do that.
This is why we're saying about like the exclusivity of it, because I was trying to find it on my way to the studio today. Couldn't for the plastic, yes. Metal can, yes.
Yeah.
Multi-packs, yes. I think it would have been easier to find, you know, like the syrup that you put into like into the pump at the bar thing. I think that would have been easier to find. Claire started giggling. Is it because I said pump? It's because I said pump. Yeah. I was looking for a pump, but I couldn't find one.
Thank you for trying, though. It's lovely.
We if anything, we do try, and then when we can't succeed, we lie. If we're not trying, we're lying.
Yeah, hard relate to that.
So talk me through the first sip of Coke from a bottle. How does it make you feel? Where is it putting you in your mind?
Well, I know I'm about to eat, which is always great. And because I don't. That's another thing I should point out is that I don't drink Coke at any other time apart from with meals. So I
really okay.
Yeah. And if I start a meal, I immediately, as a part of that, my mouth wants Coke. That's what happens. So
the Pavlov dog's kind of response.
Yeah. And an ex-girlfriend of mine once, she was raised in a household that didn't need to drink through meals, and that was thrust upon me as a lifestyle choice for 3 years of my existence, and I hated it because let me drink through meals.
Just have every meal just dry, no assistance,
zero lubrication. Sam, nothing.
God.
Didn't matter what the meal was, and I ate with them. They were good people. They had food, but it wasn't moist.
Yeah. No,
it wasn't moist enough just to swallow it down for minutes. So to answer your question, when I have a glass bottle of Coke, especially when I have a glass bottle, I still think about those people. I still think about them, and I still think, in my mind, that's where it takes me. To
my mouth
Christmas
is like
Day,
flagging up thinking about it.
Yeah, my ex-girlfriend's house with turkey there that was overcooked, knowing that I wasn't going to be able to drink anything for a sizable amount of time. Yeah.
And obviously, like, I don't want to say anything untoward about someone I don't know, such as your ex-girlfriend, but just out of interest, what is her full home address and postcode?
It falls into a point in my life that I don't remember entirely anyway, so I'd be guessing, but I'm happy to have a go in about 45 minutes if you want.
Yeah, sure. It texts it. We'll send it off camera.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah,
lovely.
That's it.
Well, good. Okay. Yeah. Well, we're both here enjoying our Coke from a bottle. Wink. Let's start talking. It's just like it's just because like it's somewhere in between just putting the whole thing in your mouth and just the little top of it. You found like a sweet spot in the middle that is peak comedy.
If it was the old bottle, Sam, we'd have no problems. It would quite clearly just be the top. But with this little chody thing,
yeah,
wow, wasn't worth it.
Wasn't worth it. Was not worth it. Oh dear. Right. Well, let's put that behind us then. Let's talk about your topic of choice, and that is the world of magic and magicians. So we're talking about like live stage magic kind of stuff, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, you
Mm,
asked for a topic that I like to talk about. And
yes.
I struggle. I spent a long time on that question, but knowing what to say, because I find it difficult to talk about things, just say stuff. I like questions. I like talking to people,
Sure.
but I like to be asked stuff, and I like talking about things. But
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like the origin of that conversation to come from me, because then if it's a bad conversation, I'm like, well, oh well, but that's what that guy talks about. So
Right. Right. Right.
I took some time thinking
I'll to
about.
put you at ease a little bit. A lot of guests do sort of say the same thing because it's a rare occasion when you do a podcast where you get to decide what the main topic of conversation is. So for some people, they do find that a bit overwhelming and think
Yeah,
that whatever they choose is like part of the challenge. But whatever it is that people choose, we always have a good chat about it. So
yeah,
you somehow managed to settle on magic.
yeah. Again, unfortunately, there was never really another option. So it was quite a dull period of time for me when I was thinking about what to decide, because I knew that there's nothing else that would be something that I'd be able to talk about for a long period of time than that.
Right.
It was that or
Mhm.
drugs, and I don't want to talk
Okay.
about drugs. So let's
Fair.
talk about magic. It's a very different
Okay.
chat.
Yes, well, I mean, I don't know. We'll wait and see if someone comes on and talks about drugs, and then we'll compare the two episodes and see if the same themes come up. But
Thanks.
so when it comes to magic, then, so how have you always been big into magic?
Yeah, depressingly, I have always been big into magic.
Big
I
into
when
magic.
Yeah, I started doing magic when I was, well, I think I was about 5, but I started to take
Oh,
it
wow.
upsettingly seriously when I was 8. And I started doing children's parties when I was 10. Like, I should have just called them parties at that point in my life, but I did.
Is that legal? Were you
It was
like
a long
working
time
on? Were you
ago.
getting paid?
I mean, yeah, I was getting paid. Legal is questionable. I think, there should have been some parenting happening at some point. That's a first port of call.
Your mum was too
But
busy picking those tiles.
there you go. Absolutely. Which shouldn't have taken that long, really. Yeah, no. So I did, and then I was taken out of school when I was 13. I was homeschooled,
Right.
and I went full professional children's party magician at 13 years old.
Wow. That
Yeah,
is a story like I don't think anyone else has.
for a reason. It
So
was,
you became a children's magician at 13 and that was your was that your full-time job? Were you still
yeah,
getting an education but just homeschooled?
questionable. I mean, I was semi-pro age 10 to 13. 13, I was then being
Okay.
homeschooled, but we found it quite difficult to find a teacher that I sort of, gelled with.
Just
So we ended
compatible.
up
Yeah.
getting my cousin had just dropped out of university. And he taught me in a shed in my garden for
Of
the bare
course.
minimum amount of time that was allowed, which at the time was 3 hours a day.
Oh,
And
right, okay.
every 3 months, a lady from Ofcom would come round to make sure everything was okay and read the books. But in all the years I was homeschooled, I never met her because I was always working. But
Mm.
she would go through the
Did you say
work that I was doing.
Ofcom?
Did I say Ofcom? What's the other one? There you go. What
That's
the
the new
school
one.
one?
Ofsted.
Ofsted. There you go. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
I
Nobody was
just
there.
thought every 3 months a woman was turning up to see like, is he ready to be a star yet?
I wasn't getting complaints from random people angry with my children's entertainer situation at such a young age.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Right.
yeah, again, to answer your question, yes, I was professional and I was being schooled, but not well enough.
Mm. Okay. So there was a semblance of it, there was a suggestion of education happening. And whilst
Yes.
that was happening, you were a professional magician. When you say professional, how often were you performing?
Weekdays, at least 1 to 3 shows a day. Be that because
Wow.
I used to do educational shows in schools for assemblies and stuff as
Ah,
well.
okay.
And then in the
Hmm.
holidays and weekends, I do children's like birthday parties or theme parties
Hmm.
or stuff like that. I used to work a lot. I was busy
Yeah.
because you
Yeah.
know children's party entertainers are creepy. You know, they're just, I mean, back then, I don't know now, but when I was doing it, it's just old men
So
coming
you
to,
were like a nice, safe breath of fresh. I'm having a
yeah,
stroke. Breath of
I
fresh
was a
air.
fresh of breath. I was a fresh of breath. I'll take it.
You were a fresh breath.
There you go. But like, I think people, because again, when you, again, in the business, you get, if you do a good children's party show, you get a lot
Mm.
of repeat bookings because parents are there, they're with their
Word of mouth.
children. Yeah. And
Yeah.
like, obviously, when I was 13, I looked 11. So I was looking younger anyway. So when
Right.
the parents were like, wow, this child is oddly good at this, let's get him to do our child's birthday party. Like, I'd get an awful lot of repeat and return bookings and things, but then also a load of new ones because they're like, great, I haven't got to have some creepy old man magician rock up to my
Yeah.
conservatory when she's 12. I can just get this weird child man that's going to come and do 45 minutes affordably because I was working so much. I used to massively undercut all of the creepy guys because I knew what they were
Yeah.
earning. So I was like, nah, sod it. Because they just feel like they're giving you pocket money. And invariably, they tip me the amount of money they knocked off that I wasn't charging them, that the old creepy magicians would charge. So I was coming out
Yeah.
on top, or at least breaking even with them. I think that's the wrong phrase, but you
Nice.
know what I mean.
I
Thanks,
think
Sam.
so. Yes. That's very impressive to be such a young busy. Can I ask, did you have a stage name when you were doing this?
At that point in my life, when I started, my stage name was Joe Pasquale Jr., which was great.
Okay. Yeah, that
At
makes
one
sense actually. Yes.
Yeah, that's it. I went with the real one, and then it did get to a point when I thought, wow, changing my name is probably going to be a good idea. So I looked into my family on my dad's side is from Italy, like way,
Right.
way back. And Pasquale is historically a first name over there. So my great great
Ah,
granddad was called, I asked my granddad, because I said I want to change my name. My great great granddad was called Pasquale Giuseppe Tracini. And when he moved over to this country, Grandad told me that he
right.
filled out his citizenship form wrong, and he put his middle name as his first name, his first name as his last name, and his last name as his middle name. So he, in this country, was called
Oh,
Joe Tracini Pasquale. And then because Italian men can't think of new names, they just
got
keep
it.
doing that down the line forever. Um, but yeah, so that's where that came from.
Right.
My granddad died a few years ago, and when we moved out his house, we found my great great granddad's birth certificate, and his surname was Tizinia. And uh, granddad apparently, when I asked for our family name, just forgot and made a noise because we've searched and there is nobody called Tracini, anybody in the world apart from me. So my name is essentially a cough.
Well, what a fascinating story, and great for SEO as well. If you're the only one.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's
It's
lovely.
a lovely way of looking at
So
it.
I see it as a positive. I do. That's so funny because my family's Spanish, and I nearly did the same thing. I had to fill out some forms
Yeah,
for something to do with my family in Spain, and
yeah,
all of the Spanish side of my family, they are named the Spanish way, where they get a name from their mum and a name from their dad and a middle name. So
right,
when I was filling out the form, I nearly filled it out wrong and put my names in the wrong order because
right.
normally a Spanish person would have all of those names, but I don't.
What
I only have my dad's last name.
what were you nearly called if you'd done it wrong?
If I had done it wrong, if I'd done it wrong, the lady would have just told me off and then made me fill out the form again. But if I had the name that I was supposed to, should I give out my mother's maiden name on the
It's
pod?
like my ex's
Everyone is
address.
saying no.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
You know what? Sign up for the Patreon and I'll give you my mother's maiden name.
Rosé bitches.
Rosé bitches, rosé sluts.
Sluts,
So
let's
get sluts. But you can be a rosé bitch if you want. You can start off a splinter community.
Well, maybe I will.
So let's get back. Oh, it's a lovely punctuation point, the whole bottle in the mouth. It really is. Let's talk about the actual magic of it. So was there something that initially drew you to magic? Did you just see it one day and you were like, that's a bit of me?
I think that I was interested in it. It was I don't remember a point where I first saw magic. I have always accepted magic as part of my life, but I think that the attraction was initial lack of social skills. So that was because it's a way of sort of being around people, and that was not something I was. Sure. I was a terrible child, and I'm not badly behaved. I was just shit at being 8, and I think that I really I struggled to have anything in common with people that were my size.
Right.
And in saying that, I've always been very small, so that didn't help. But magic, I was like, that's something that I could probably commit my time to into getting some friends. But it's the irony of it is, in order to get not shit at magic, you got to spend a shitload of time on your own. So I had no friends, and I was like, I'm going to do this to get friends. Then I had to continue to have no friends to get good at the thing. And then when I did get good at the thing, and I went and I was like, hey, look at this thing. I hadn't thought about what happens after you've done the thing, because I've got nothing else to bring to the table apart from the card tricks.
But I guess a lovely sleight of hand, like if you know how to do that, that's the conversation starter, and then you kind of hope that the rest just takes care of itself.
It doesn't. And I learned that far too late, Sam. Far too late.
Was that the first thing that you learned how to do, like card tricks?
Yeah, card tricks and a rope trick. The vast majority of my childhood was spent perfecting a rope trick.
Mm-hmm.
Which is as depressing as it sounds.
And was that the basis for your act as the only non-creepy old man magician?
Very much so. But funnily enough, thanks for asking, Sam. It's nice. Funnily enough, the rope trick didn't feature in the children's act. That was just for me. And
that was one for you. Okay.
Yeah, it was. I spent 8 years on the rope trick. I didn't tell anybody about it for 4 of them. And another thing that was weird about
the rope trick is something else. I understand now.
Okay, good. You caught.
A rope trick. I've seen one of those before.
Yeah, again, now, looking back, I wish I'd spent my childhood doing anything else. But that was important to me at the time.
Sure, of course.
Because I had little hands, I could never, even when I read the books and things, I was never able to do the things with cards and ropes that other people would, the magicians would learn from books. So I used to watch videos. I had a load of videos that I would watch over and over again. Yeah. And I'd just try and work out how they were doing it. And then I'd try and work out a way for me to be able to do it with my tiny little hands, which is why it took so long, which is why it took so many years.
Because you had to adapt all of these things that are supposed to apply to everyone to how you specifically can do it. So it took a bit of extra time.
Yeah, a bit of extra time. Also, because I couldn't concentrate on the books for long enough to get to the end of a paragraph. So I'd be like, oh, okay, so I've got to bend that there and then do that. Okay, fine. But then I'd be like, so I'm going to go and pretend to be Al Jolson over there. I had an obsession with Al Jolson as well. I used to do an Al Jolson tribute act on my own in my bedroom at the same time. That was my other thing that I did. Very different podcast, though. Of
course.
Yeah.
As we all did at some point.
Well, yeah. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you spend a good 18 months imitating Al Jolson and filming it?
So,
But yeah.
so how long did you do the professional magic act for?
That I called that a day when I was. I mean, I sort of moved. I stopped doing the children's parties when I was about 15. I was about 15,
Hmm.
but I'd been working on a competition act because there are magic competitions around the world, and
Of
I'd
course, yeah.
been working on one for many years, and so I entered the British Championships when I was 15. It was in 2003, and I won.
Right.
I won them, and I mean, it was a bloody good.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Sam. It was a bloody good rope trick. It was. It cost a childhood, but it was a
Yeah.
good rope trick. And
Yeah.
and to be honest, from that point when I did that, and I did a few things, like I was the youngest person in the magic circle back then, and
Mm.
lots of other stuff. And then I went to college, and which was the first time in my life when I was 16 that I'd actually met people that I felt I could talk to. I sort of fell out
Mm.
of love with magic for a long, long time. I really, really sort of I couldn't stand it and stayed away from it for a large
Mm.
portion of my life, probably for longer than I'd spent learning it. So yes, about
Wow.
16 was when I stopped doing it.
That's when you stopped doing it. So it ran for a
Yeah.
few years. And
Oh
because
yeah.
we're talking about it today,
Yeah.
has there been something that sort of reignited a passion for it? Or has it always just sort of been like a simmering thing, even if you're not doing it as actually as you used to? Is it always going to be like a passion of yours?
Oh, I mean, the thing is, I mean, I've not done magic for a long time, but I still think about it a
Mm.
lot. Technically, I'm in
Right.
recovery, but I think that one of the things is that it's such a big part of, such a big part of who I am that I've never been able to get rid of it, and I've never wanted
Sure.
to. And I think that, yeah, I've tried to sort of make my peace with magic a little bit more recently because I was
Mm.
very angry at it for a long time, and it was like a problem, like it was an issue. I went to therapy to deal with my issue with magic,
With
which again
your
is
magic issues.
ironically so depressing. Again, so
That's
I think that
fascinating.
yes, I think the way that I've ignited the thing that's ignited it is just I want to deal with things. That's how I feel at the
Sure.
moment. I really want to
Uh-huh.
deal with stuff, and that's stuff. So yeah, so that's why I knew that that was my only option of what to talk about, what's passionate.
Mm.
And that's why, yeah.
And that's why. Is there, I totally get, like, as you grow up, sort of reassessing
Sorry,
and having,
can I stop you talking? I've been wanting to drink water for a really long time.
please,
I
go
have
ahead,
been no,
have
I
a
know, but
sip.
every time I've gone to it, it's gotten to here, and I've gone, oh no, don't! It's meant to be the Coke. Just then, I realised it was here when it was here. So,
That's fine. I mean,
sorry,
yeah, no, I could have, I will
and I missed
vamp
my mouth.
whilst you swallow. I feel like we
Thanks,
forced you
mate.
to, instead of having actual liquid, just put the entire bottle in your mouth. And I should have at some point said, please also hydrate yourself. It's important.
You've consistently encouraged me to swallow. There's
I thank
nothing that you have done
you.
that's not been making sure that I had enough moisture in me. So don't feel bad about that.
It's just a cause that I strongly believe in, and I will continue to champion. I will. But what I was going to say was I completely understand uh, being a grown up and then being in a place where you feel like, hey, that thing from the past, I think I could maybe talk about that.
Yeah.
Or I can start to think about like how that actually made me feel at the time. Sometimes it just takes that long to work things out. So now I'm curious, do you look back on your time doing magic and how much of your life it took up? Do you look back on that fondly in any way, or do you look back at it as like something that, I guess from what you've described it, like it needs to be fixed or addressed?
I think that was lovely, by the way. That Sam, that was a really delicate and lovely way of looking at it. Thank you. On the first part of what you said, I think that it, sort of looking at things that have happened and going, did I feel about that? What's it doing to me now? That's absolutely the way that if you can
Mhm.
get to that point at any point in life, that's great, because that's the only point that I've started to feel better about myself, is when I've started to
Sure.
filter through all that stuff.
Yeah.
In answering the first part of your question, I've forgotten the second part of your question. Can you tell me again, Sam? What did you say?
It was that if you, because if you look back at your time as a magician, do you look back at it in any way fondly, or do you
Yeah.
sort of on a whole see it as like oh, this is a time that we sort of need to like think more seriously about, or is like magic still something that brings you like a bit of joy?
Yeah, I think that I can't change it. That I can't not do magic now. And I think that any anger towards something you
Hmm.
can't change because it's in the past is just so upsetting, because
Sure.
it's not hurting anyone apart from me at this point. I'm the only person thinking about it. So it wasn't an immediate thing that
Hmm.
I was able to look fondly at and feel fondly about. But fact is, if I
Hmm.
hadn't have done it back then, I wouldn't be who I am now. It was a part of who I am, and it still
Sure.
is. Um, uh, I'm trying to find a use for it. I am trying to find a way to feel all right that it's still a part of me, because
Right.
If I had my childhood again, would I spend it fingering somebody on a bench? Probably, but
Mm.
now
Was that part of the rope trick?
no. It was in the other bracket of childhood. You know, like just
Got it.
growing up. That
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
normal things, any of that.
Yeah,
But
I get it.
that's not what my life was, and so I can't be
Mm.
angry at that, because also I'm going to shut this. Excuse me, so I'm going to shut this door. Hang on,
No worries.
tap. It was out of necessity as well. I was doing magic to cope with stuff. So, like,
Yeah.
without it, I would have realised there were problems much earlier in life, which is objectively a
Mm.
positive thing. But I think, like, it was serving a purpose, magic, successfully.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so no, I wouldn't take that back if I could, if that makes
No,
sense.
okay, I think that's a good thing. And just sort of like, just so that we touch a little bit on just sort of the topic of magic in general, and I guess more in like terms of like magic as a craft, were
Yeah.
there any sort of like big name magicians that you looked up to or you drew inspiration from?
Oh God, yeah. There was a magician called Wayne Dobson who was in the sort of late '80s, early '90s. He had a show on LWT, which was ITV back then, and I
Mm.
loved him. I thought he was brilliant, and I worked with him a lot. I spent an awful lot of time with him when I was sort of looking to do my competition act,
Yeah.
so that was great. And yeah, and like I went to Vegas in 2000.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when I was 11. So that it's like, but that I was thrilled. It was the magic capital of the world, still is.
Sure.
So I loved it. I loved. There were, and so there was magicians. There was like proper like old school magicians with doves
Yeah.
and stuff. So
Mm.
yeah, I'd love that. I love that. But also, though, it's like anything. The more you know about it, the less you can enjoy it, because you start picking it
100%. Yeah.
apart. There were
Mm.
not. Darren Brown is still the only magician that I ever enjoy going to see, because he's
Still
just
to this
great.
day.
Yeah, he's the only one. He's the only one.
Yeah.
If I see there's a magic show on, if he's, I won't go to it. But if it's Darren, I will try and make the effort, because he's great.
I I've seen him live, I think 3 times, and he is
Yeah,
a lovely man. He always stays around after the show to say hi to people and give people hugs and take photos and stuff. And his
yeah,
shows are proper fascinating. That one where he made that lady press the button to kill the cat, that was
yeah.
that was odd,
Uh,
but it was
he's
very compelling TV.
Oh yeah, definitely weird, definitely odd, absolutely, and I'm sure he'd take
Yeah,
that as a compliment. But I think he's brilliant. One of my favourite things is that sometimes if he hypnotises people in the first half, if they don't wake
yeah,
up, he has to come out in the interval and get them up.
and finish. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I've met Darren a couple of times. Like, we're not picking out curtains, but I know him a bit. I'd say hello if I saw him.
yeah.
But I was watching it in Liverpool, and this woman literally 2 rows in front of me here was asleep, and he came out and he had to wake her up in the interval, and like he was very like cordial about it. It was very Darren Brown, but you could see
Yeah.
in his eyes he was like that. I've got 15 minutes off, and I've got to come out and wake up this rosé slut because she listened too hard.
It's a constant problem for our supporters. We fall asleep halfway through the episode and we never hear from them again. Oh dear. Listen, Joe, thank you so much for talking to me about magic, and I feel that was a really lovely story about like your sort of journey through childhood and reflecting on it later. I think listeners will get a lot out of that. So I'm very grateful that you were so open. So thank you for that. We do have one last segment of the show,
Yeah.
which is nothing to do with magic. This is the last bit of the show called Quick Fire Feelings.
Right.
So this, I just have 5 random things, and I just want you to tell me how they make you feel. And you can say as little or as much as you like, but just off the top of your head, how does this thing make you feel? Are you
Okay.
ready for Quick Fire Feelings?
So ready. Yeah.
So ready. Lovely. First of all, how do you feel about dark chocolate?
Bad. Feel very bad about dark chocolate. I do not like dark chocolate. I like milk chocolate. I don't like dark chocolate. My girlfriend will tell you that I do like dark chocolate because apparently things I enjoy have it in it.
Okay, but as on its own, no.
Absolutely not. But I will eat a pan of
Okay.
chocolate happily.
Oh, I see the point. Yes. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. It sneaks up on you.
Yeah, it does.
Next, how do you feel about those sticks that are hollow in the middle, but they've got a little thing inside them? So when you turn them upside down, they go, oh.
Yeah, I feel fine about them. I feel fine about them. Mainly because I like the song Firestarter. Like Twisted Firestarter.
Yeah. Yeah. Lovely. Lovely reference, that. How do you feel about Mr. Worldwide Pitbull?
I don't know or understand what's happening with that situation.
Fair enough. We'll move on. How
I've
do you
seen
feel
the
about
pictures, but I've
you
seen
know
the pictures.
you know what he looks like vaguely? Okay.
I know it, yes, but I thought, was he not an angry, like, sideman rapper from, like, the early noughties? Is that not what Pitbull was?
Yes, basically, yes. And he would sort of just turn up on a song every now and again and be like, that would be him. Yeah.
So why is this happening now?
What do you mean, why is it happening?
The things. There's so many people. There are so many people that are traveling around with the heads and the things.
It's become a thing. Like I think it's because he said that he enjoys it, and he said something along the lines of, "Listen, just put on a bald cap and have the night of your life." So that's what people do. They go to his concert and they dress up as him now.
But he's selling out. He's selling out. It's amazing. I'm thrilled for him, but I couldn't name a song.
Oh, that's such a good point. I can only think of him like next to Jennifer Lopez or someone like featuring.
Right?
Oh,
Yeah.
That's his. Oh, okay. Oh, we might have just blown Pitbull wide open. I don't like how I said that. How do you feel about a Stanley Cup?
Is that a fold-up cup? Or a Stanley
Is there
cup?
a delay, or is
cup?
there just an anti-Stanley Cup silence?
Oh, no, there was a delay there. Is a Stanley Cup a flat cup or... Oh.
Hang on, you're coming back. We're catching up.
Am I back? Am I here?
You're back. I think you're back.
Yay, I'm back.
Yay. Yes.
Yay. Is a Stanley Cup a flat cup?
Oh no, it's like like you hold it in your hand. It's got a big handle in it. It's like massive. It holds like if you got like a massive bottle of Coke, you could probably put the whole thing inside it and carry on, and it would keep it cool. And it's got a straw in it.
Ah, I see. So normal cups look ridiculous on me anyway because I'm that size. So really big cups just make me look insanely tiny. So I'd say that I feel bad about Stanley. Yes, exactly that, Sam. I feel bad about Stanley Cups.
Fair enough. And finally, how do you feel about a good mullet?
I feel very bad about them. Why are people doing it again? People are doing it again.
I don't know. I keep the back of my head tidy.
I don't know if you watch Below Deck Australia, but
Yes, yes,
the
I
captain of that
do.
ship, the back of his hair has no business being that inch longer than it should be.
I know you can't see her, but producer Claire just like awakened when you said Below Deck Australia. Yeah, Captain Jason has got like a few little. He's got like I know exactly what you mean. It,
I,
yeah,
I,
I
I
don't
can
know.
only assume
Ignored it for a while.
my uncle Tony had a mullet for his entire life, or certainly all
Hmm.
of my life. And like Tony was like hair like mine, so like pretty much bald here. But then he had this mullet down to his shoulders. But because he's in
Oh.
his 60s, it ended up being like a sort of like a dirty pony's tail. But it was just thin. There was about like 6 bits of this mullet, and we were all like, "That's Tony's hair." And it looked atrocious. And then one day he came in and he'd had it cut off, and he was livid. He was so angry because none of us had told him how bad it looked. Because he thought he was still walking around like he was in the 80s with this Buffon situation
Yeah.
because he could still feel it. And he was like, why did nobody mention it? We were like, well, you thought you liked it. But he didn't go to the hairdressers. Of course he didn't. He was bald with this and he thought he was fine. So I assume Captain Jason has kept it because nobody's told him.
And that is why, circling back to something you said at the start of the episode, we value honesty.
Every time.
Every time. Joe, that brings us to the end of the episode. Have you had a nice time?
I've genuinely had a lovely time. Sorry I wasn't there.
What, in person? That's okay. We've
Yeah.
made a connection digitally.
Yes, we did. Definitely. Thank you
Lovely.
for having me.
You're very welcome. Is there anything that you'd like to plug for our listeners and viewers? Where can they find you? What are you up to?
I'm doing Edinburgh. I'm doing the Edinburgh Festival. I'm doing a
Lovely.
show called 10 Things I Hate About Me that I
Okay.
have been spent 5 years working on it. And
Ooh,
so yes, I'm finally coming to do that. So I'm there.
wonderful.
I'm Underbelly Bristow Square from the 30th of July to the 24th of August.
Gorgeous. Definitely go
Thank you.
check out that show. I will also be at the Edinburgh Fringe. If anyone is interested, I'll be doing my show You're Joking, Not Another One at Monkey Barrel Comedy every day at 1:35.
I
And that
can
will be
come to
fun.
that. Oh yeah, mine's on
Yeah.
at 8:25.
Oh, well, there you go. Go make a day of seeing the two of us and
There you
just
go.
and just enjoy it. Lovely. Thank you very much, Joe, and for everyone who's been watching. We'll see you again for another episode next week. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.